Morning, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Digest with Jimi Disu for the week. Right, today is the first day of the week. Let me put you on notice. Next week, Monday, our own dear Bumi is going to be 75. I didn't that well. And so next week, Monday is a public holiday for the luckily I don't come to work anyway. So next week, so all of you should be ready to say happy birthday to Quitty Tom 75, man. It's what life is all about. You just wake up one morning and discover. I can't even looking at me. Some of the things that happen these days. I say, so I'm going. Oh, very long. If you laugh honestly, I will lose my temper. Anyway, today we are going to do an update on the aviation industry. We're going to be talking to Olumide Ohuayo, of the Aviation Roundtable. But we have our own, we have our own daily digest roundtable of Ohuayo, who is an aviation expert, and my good friend Osa, who lives he lives in the air. He spends half the time touring here and touring there. One of the big shots in the country. Yes, let us say it.
Put me down.
Even the car is driving is always free.
It is what?
Sir, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
We are talking to Olumide on Zoom. Is he here? He's not here yet. Oh my God. He was going to lead us in this discussion. He will be telling us what happened. Of course, that last week we had a crisis in Dana Air, which, to be honest, was about one too many. I've been very worried about that airline for years. They've had, and I wonder how they survived not being thrown out of the business, if you ask me. And so last week, the minister, ordered that they should be suspended. And of course, the contention then was that that's not the minister's brief. It's a very professional service. It's like telling the president to do the work of the attorney general. If the president has an attorney general that's not doing the right thing, he fires him. He can't go and file a summons in court and say, since my attorney general is not doing the job, let me do it for him. That was akin to what happened last week. So we want to ask, why don't we have Olumide Sheriff? He hasn't come on yet?
He hasn't come on.
Oh my dear. We're gonna ask him. We're gonna ask him. Oh, 1 second, please. We'll be back. Okay, welcome back to the Daily Digest. We have a bit of a problem here. There's something wrong. I know there's a downtime in some of the telecoms, so we can't even get Olumide Ohayo. And okay, so we can't. He was going to lay the foundation for us, Osa, but we can talk generally. Use this opportunity to talk a bit since. The major thing was that Festus Keyamo, apart from doing the job of the DG NCA, he indicted them and made some allusion to the fact that some of them, he's hinting of corruption by saying some of them have built houses and are buying cars.
How many days?
And then all of a sudden it surfaced about 2 or 3 days ago, whatever, sometime last week, that the NCA DG bought a car for 250 million or whatever it was, and I'm saying to myself, I'm not too happy with what a Nigerian minister has done by publicly indicting officials under him. If there's any hint of corruption or misdemeanor, you have all the powers to fire the guy and not take on his job. Like I said, the president can't take on the job of the attorney general. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
So this brings us to the fact that we need to protect our professionals in Nigeria. Generally, professionals are not well protected. And I tell you part of the consequences. So you could have a governor who can just call the accountant general and say to him, if the governor said to him, I need 1 billion, go and find it.
It's happening.
It's happening. Now, the accountant general can't say no because his job is not protected.
Yes.
And I'm one of those who believe that a National Assembly needs to tighten some laws to protect professionals. Last week, I gave the example of when there was, in a movie, there was a fire, and the mayor of the town wanted to hound the fire chief. And the fire chief said, this towering inferno, he says, when anywhere there is a fire, I overrank everybody. So we need that culture that we apparently don't have, where accountants general is not protected, even doctors in government too, they are not protected. They can't stand up and say, no, this I will not do. The same thing I'm sure applies to security. They say that obey the last order, but it is with some, obey the last order actually should be with some exceptions to the rule. If you tell me to go and kill somebody, I must be sure that is in the interest of the state and not just some, so I just thought that I'd run that by you and wonder what your take would be on that.
Unfortunately, the Dana had an issue. I mean, the crash landed.
Yes.
And to God be the glory that we didn't had any casualty, nobody was injured. And so these crashes happen across the world. So and we just.
But their crash has been one too many. Remember that.
No, they happened last how long ago?
No, Dana has a history.
Maybe it's crashing, but not.
In fact, they had a history recently of the door opening. Media, yeah.
Really?
Yes, Dana do have a lot of.
So what I think is that to me, I think the minister was very I think he was hasty. You have the NCA, which is like the regulatory body for from the airline, the aviation industry in Nigeria, and they have similar ones across the world. So first of all, they should have done a thorough investigation, bringing an expert to what really happened, when do all the technical analysis, and if need be, they can. If need be, to say, okay, your fleet has issues, maybe landing gear, things like that is happening, then if need be, you can apply the sanctions or apply the suspension themselves. So you're not going to come in directly.
Okay, let me explain where the problem actually lies. The minister is of the view that the implication of what he said is that there's been compromise, because he believes that he probably believes, by implication of what he's saying, that they should have been suspended even before then. Because to be fair to him, he said what he met on ground. And probably this NCAA had been. It's a pity that this gentleman is not here. He would have put us on the complete right track. And that probably the NCAA, were not as responsive as they should be. But The problem I have is procedure. Two problems I have is procedure. One, it is not your call to suspend them. And then two, because if they are not efficient, you can get them removed. I will assume that if you go through the legal process, you have the power to change whoever leads that organization. I'd hate to think that there can't be a replacement. And that is number one. And then two, for you to give that impression to the whole world that your NCAA people have been compromised is sending a bad signal to the rest of the world. What do I mean by this? It has its implications. So sometimes when you hear that airlines like Air PLC have problems getting accredited and so on and so forth, we don't know that we've shot ourselves in the leg. Because they are not, one of the things that will accredit you is to make sure that before you take off from your country, all due diligence has been done.
Yes.
Okay, they don't want you, a problem created in Nigeria, for you to come and crash in the UK and stuff like that. And that therefore, there's probably a reason to tell the minister, you can't do things like that. Is that him?
Yes.
Is that Olumide? Hello? Hello? Hello, Olumide, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm trying to, yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to increase the volume there.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. Okay, first of all, can you give us the latest development in the issue of this Dana whatever? There's been a lot of criticisms that the minister shouldn't have been the one suspending. Can you now give us what has happened? Has it been reversed, or have the what do you call it now? The NCAA, have they been allowed to carry out their constitutional duties?
Thank you. Good morning once again for having me.
Yes.
Well, the situation is still the same. The minister, the NCA, let us say the NCA now, has not reversed their position.
Yes.
Dana services and operations is still suspended as directed.
Okay, but technically, who has it been reversed now that the NCAA has suspended them?
No, it has not been reversed.
So it's still the minister that has suspended them.
No, it's the NCAA, but directed by the minister.
Oh, I need to get clearance on I need to get clearance on one thing. Is it the NCAA that announced, or it was the news we got? It was the minister that announced himself. That
I think
it says the news we got is that the minister suspended Dana.
Yeah, you could technically say that because what the minister did was that rather than have an internal memo of discussion with NCAA,
yes,
he wrote a letter directing the regulator, the NCAA, to suspend. He directed the NCAA to suspend the services and the operations of Dana. That's we told him they suspend their AOC, their operating certificate.
So what should have been the proper procedure?
The proper procedure is if the minister has any doubts or a problem with Dana operation,
yes,
he was supposed to seek the consent of NCA and ask if what was the operational status or safety status of Dana Airlines. But in this case, rather than make a request, the minister directed NCA, which is the regulating body, and with autonomy, the autonomy is in its act, section 4.3, that it must not take directives from anybody on safety and economic auditing. It must be independent. But in this, but what the minister did was to direct them not to go and audit, but he directed them to suspend the operation. And you can only suspend the operation based on safety. The minister
who wrote the letter to Dana that they had been suspended?
The Honorable Minister of Aviation wrote the letter, signed by the permanent secretary, And another positive thing about it was that the letter got to the social media, even on the minister's social media account. By the time it was getting to NCA, so it was already in the domain of the public. So what we found out is the minister dictating on safety-related issues.
Is he trained? Does he have any experience in aviation?
I wouldn't know, but I don't know. We don't know his experience. Even if he's experienced, the rule is clear, irrespective of your status, whether you're a pilot for 40 years, you do not direct DG NCAA. But let me tell you, when we do things that do not follow the act or the norm, then you pay this kind of price. But if you look at the act, it says that anybody applying for that position must be advertised. And after advertising, you call the human hunters.
We have to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue with you, okay? We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Promise to take this tear rubber SUV with a V8 engine and 0 mileage to be my baby, to drive from this day forward, and full tank and fuel scarcity, to love and cherish and protect it with a Leadway Motor Insurance. If you love your car, show it. Visit auto.leadway.com to get your motor insurance in 2 minutes. Leadway Assurance, ensuring happiness since 1970.
Enjoy the delicious creamy goodness of Cowbell. Cowbell contains Vitarich and vitamin B9, which supports brain development. Use Cowbell in your tea, cereal, pap, and other meals of choice. Cowbell, so creamy, so good.
It's human to feel pain. Ease the pain with Easedol for fast relief from pains and fever. Easedol comes in easy-to-swallow caplets for adults and suspension for children. Easedol ease the pain. If symptoms persist after 2 days, please see your doctor. Easedol, a product of May and Baker PLC.
New Lafarge Water Shield Cement now confirm.
Oh, welcome, sir. Sir, we are set to begin the foundation.
Everything set?
Everything, sir. We have the estimates for the granite, the sand, the iron rods, the concrete blocks, the cement, the...
Wait, engineer. What cement are you planning to use?
Oh, the normal cement, sir.
The normal cement?
Yes, sir.
You know the area is waterlogged and you say normal cement? Have you not heard of Water Shield? The new waterproof cement by Lafarge, designed to protect buildings from water damage and water damage to your property. If you're building in a waterlogged area, then your best bet is the new Water Shield cement by Lafarge. Water Shield is the waterproof, high-strength cement expertly formulated for all interior and external use in waterlogged areas. New Lafarge Water Shield cement now confirm.
And water damage to your property.
It's the 10th edition of the AMVCA, and Super Commando is giving you the energy to fire on. Are you ready to show up and show out? So, whether you're nominated, performing, or just enjoying the action, fire on with your Super Commando energy drink. Fire on at the 10th edition of the Africa Magic Viewers' Choice Awards on the 11th of May 2024 at Eco Hotel, Victoria Island, Lagos. Super Commando energy drink. Fire on.
Now we're back on the Morning Crossfire.
You're listening to Jimi Disu right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Okay, welcome back to the Daily Digest. We have to rush through the second half because we lost time. And I'm speaking to Olumide Uhwayo, and Osa is here. This is our own local aviation roundtable. Our Daily Digest roundtable. Okay, Olumide, we need to draw so much from you, so let's speed up. Now, what is the implication of what has now happened worldwide? What is the implication for the industry?
Basically, we are looking at thank you said worldwide, and let's start from Nigeria. You have the head of the ministry accusing the agencies of being corrupt.
Corrupt, yes.
This is the same agency you remove all the heads and the directors and brought in your own team.
Ooh.
You didn't leave anybody behind. Everybody and brought everybody and put your whole team from the head to the directors, even to some GMs.
Wow.
Now, to not accuse them, you have told the world that yes, despite the people you have brought in, there's still corruption within the system. And you have a DG that is in active position because the act says that once you appoint a DG, that DG must be confirmed by the legislature. And as of today, that DG has not been confirmed. So how do you now take this DG, this acting DG you appointed, to the House of Assembly now, when you have accused the same agency is heading to be very corrupt? Again, we need to learn from what happened to Pakistan. When the minister of air transport there accused the regulatory body of poor security and city surveillance. And what happened? The foreign countries, most of the European countries, refused to allow Pakistani airlines to operate into their country because they were not sure of their safety standard.
Yes.
This is that whistleblowing. Now, what the minister has done is that, luckily, Air PLC already has its TCO. To operate into England. Maybe 2 other airlines that are eligible to go would be having problems based on this statement coming out that our regulatory body is corrupt. Again, some other countries might say, no, we don't want your carriers to come in till you sort out the issue of corruption within your safety area of aviation or the aviation industry. That said, because of that rating that you have, your safety suspicious, you would now tend to have a high safety risk. And when you have high safety risk, your cost of insurance for the airlines goes up. Your cost of leasing aircraft goes up. Your cost of getting parts will now be scrutinized. It goes up. For your certification, extra scrutiny and extra measures will be put in place because of that rating. And when all these are put in place, the cost of operation increases, and it will reflect in the type of fares we have. Today, we are all rejoicing. I was with you last month with OSA, and we're rejoicing that yes, we have been a there now that has brought down the fares on the international route. When we now do things that will make Nigerian airlines not operate again, then we'll go back to those days when the foreign airlines will be dictating the fares and they will tell us the minimum they will charge us, and we will all struggle to pay the work.
Do you think this, for example, this action would affect, for example, Air Peace, specifically this the Air Peace, specifically on the London route? Do you think it might affect them at some point?
Well, surely it won't. They already have their TCO, but there's no certificate that is permanent. There comes a time when it's okay. Well, we'll go for recertification. They can because maybe after the expiration of the set of TCO, they might say they want to come for a review. It might be in 2 or 3 years' time. Then they flash the books and say, "This is what we've heard about your safety. We need to come and look at your books again." And that's a cost on Air Peace. That's a cost on our reputation. So we must guard our utterances. The Air Peace is there right now. If the other things I've analyzed before concerning the safety rating, and those organizations that are going to lease aircraft, they're going to put insurance, are using our safety standard. Definitely, it's going to have Air Peace. Air Peace has to insure its aircraft. It will affect the cost of things that will go high. Air Peace has to pay some aircraft he has because of those things will go high. So when you say things to bring down your industry just to justify a wrong decision, rather than apologize and reduce your step, this is why we're finding ourselves. It was running emotions and going on all the way of saying Nigerian blood, Nigerian life. Why would you go and agitate the Nigerians to sense of change bloods and lives? What has happened here has happened even in Delta. Delta Airlines had the same thing in January. January 2024. Data Airlines are not even taking off. The Dana Airlines took off from Lagos, landed in Abuja. It was on his return to Lagos, and it was raining on a wet runway. No sweet collapse happened on landing. Data Airlines had not even left his base. It was about taking off when the front wheel pulled out and was rolling behind the aircraft on the runway. That aircraft was towed back to base, and the passengers were evacuated, and the aircraft was returned back to the ramp. But Data Airlines operation was not grounded. It wasn't grounded. And just 2 days ago, the same Data Airlines, the exit door, about taking off, the exit of the inflatable tube there for emergency exit, pulled out. The panel pulled out, exposing the inflatable tube. Data Airlines was not grounded. If NCA initiated the grounding of Dana, there would have been not much in the industry.
Yeah.
Because that's the statutory responsibility.
Okay, so Olumide, where do we? Sorry, Osao, I want you to finish. Where do we? And
the independence of the regulator.
Okay, so where do we go from here? How can this be remedied? We've created a crisis has been created.
Because, like I said, he has put spanner in the clearance and the confirmation of the acting DG, because you have said the decision is leading, it's corrupt, and they are cutting clearance. So you need to clear that within the Nigerian Fed. Then we also need to come out to and say, look, that was an error. That was not the way it was intended. Because I know it was not intended based on corruption, but just to fight back the public opinion and the industry who were objected to the position it took concerning Dana. Dana was not the only airline that had runway excursion.
Okay, can I ask you?
Runway excursion in Port Harcourt. United Nigeria Airlines had runway excursion in Lagos with its Embraer aircraft. Their operations were not grounded. Why are you grounding Dana? Why are you secretly out Dana? That's the position. So we should allow the regulator to do his job. If they just say, okay, we are grounding you because we have noticed that based on our inspection, maybe in January.
Wait, 1 second. He made a veiled reference to the fact that reports he met on ground probably indicated that Dana should have been grounded anyway before that time, and therefore, in order to quote and unquote save lives.
Dana, like 2 other airlines, Dana, Asman, Mark said, at a time in history, in the last 2 years, have been grounded for safety and security infractions. They've been punished. They were reviewed again. They passed and were asked to fly. Nigeria itself, Nigeria as a country, we have failed some ICAO inspections and safety issues. They've not closed our airspace. Rather, we are given a period to close the gaps. So there's nobody in safety and regulation. Nobody gets 100%. They said, imagine 90.
Do you think that the honorable?
You are not thrown out of the market. You are asked to work on those gaps. Then you are completely grounded. And it's the sins of Dana that we have shown to the public that was not a sin of this year. Was the sin of 2 years ago. That's been resolved 2022.
Oh, okay. 1 second, please. Do you think that?
2024.
Okay, Olumide. Do you think that all this is happening because the minister is not an aviation professional? Do you think it's happening because he's not an aviation? He has no aviation experience.
Well, the minister says he's a lawyer. And as a lawyer, he knows what the regulations.
He didn't say he's a lawyer. He didn't say he's a lawyer. He's a senior advocate of Nigeria.
On assuming office, the first thing he told everyone on assuming was, I am a lawyer. I know the regulations. I will not interfere with safety, and I will not interfere with the work of the regulator.
He said that.
I know it. He said that. He said that twice. He said that when he assumed office, and he repeated it in January. But it's somewhere along the line. If he has taken along with him boys that were with him from the Ministry of Labour from the civil rights days. And what I see that they're always eager to run on the social media, to throw information out, to battle everything. But there are some things that are technical. And when things are technical, you either have to deal with technical people or you allow your boys to continue to do whatever job they need to do outside the technical areas. And this is where we have found ourselves. He was too eager to defend a wrong action. He was too eager to browbeat his way, go on national television, and when he was going on national television, he was damaging himself, damaging the industry and the marketing industry in general outside the Nigerian airspace.
Okay, so the aviation roundtable is made up of who now?
It's made up of professionals in it.
So what would you, okay, made up of professionals. So what would you be telling the government now to do? Are you going to ask that a minister with better cognitive experience at aviation matters, a new minister be appointed, or what?
You can be sure that we got into this quagmire because May 29th is down the line, and the ministers are competing on who's going to be the best minister. And in doing that now, we chose to go for the emotions of the Nigerians than face the technical issues which is supposed to lead the industry. For us, we are meeting on Thursday. We have made our first press release, which I sent to you.
Yes.
We have asked for him to apologize to Nigerians and apologize to the international aviation industry for that error. We have asked that they should reverse that suspension of Dana Airlines and allow Dana Airlines to go through safety and economic audit as provided.
The proper audit, yes.
Later, we have asked that the NSIB, who's investigating the incident, the serious incident, to go ahead with the process of investigation, give us a preliminary report in 30 days, and whatever comes of that report, that will also aid the regulator in determining the status of Dana. But for now, for us, the suspension was harsh, was knee-jerk, and I think what would have been more appropriate was to ground the MD-82 series if you need to do a knee-jerk action. The ground the MD-82 series, the one that had an accident, and allow other airlines in their fleet to fly, not to withdraw the AOC. Withdrawing the AOC is taking more seats away from the market and allowing fares to increase on routes operated by Dana on domestic routes. And we don't want Nigerians to do that.
One thing though, the aviation roundtable, do you have confidence in the DG NCAA? Do you have confidence in him? Do you think he's competent?
I can tell you wholeheartedly that we have confidence in his competence, in his professionalism, and his eligibility to lead the regulatory body. What we don't have confidence in is the ability of the minister to stay away and not interfere with the decisions of the regulator and all other technical decisions. He's a man in love with committees.
Okay,
since he came into office, one committee or the other. Now he has to set up another committee, which we are against. The safety committee is a responsibility of NCAA. Do not go there.
Okay, let me let you drink small water, and the other member of our own Daily Digest roundtable, like I call it on the vision. Osa, what do you see? Should I tell you what I think is that he made a point about the minister coming with his own people. In politics, these things always happen. He comes with his own, and they most likely the people he came with are not in the aviation industry anyway. Rather, they are looking at him strengthening his position as a minister. So they would want to push him to appear to be working. Do you understand? And push him to do quite a number of things. It's not happening just to him. It's happening to those of them who are also not experienced. When you go into public office, it's better for you to go with a clear and matured mind. If you allow some of these young people who have something else in mind, they push you to the brink. I'm of the belief that I don't want Festus Keyamo sacked as a minister. No, I don't want that. But I think he should be redeployed to some other ministry where his own expertise, because he, whether you like it or not, he's a senior advocate of Nigeria, and Festus is quite vibrant and whatever. His vibrance, whatever, can be used in some other place. This aviation industry is too technical for those kind of sentiments. I wonder what you think.
I don't think it's necessary for him to. I don't think him as a person needs to be redeployed.
Okay.
What Festus needs is just administrative skills.
But if he doesn't have it, then he should be redeployed.
So that means the one that appointed him doesn't know what he's doing. If you have administrative skills, what Festus should have done, should have gotten competent. I'm sure definitely there are competent people in the Ministry of Aviation, but maybe civil service these days they move you around.
Yes,
move you around.
Yes.
Most of that you don't have even professionals in that place there. You can get SA technical on this, SA technical on that and that. Who will surround you? Who will give you the how do you call it? The kind of knowledge that you don't have. They will tell you, give you objective. You don't need yes sir people. They will give you objective.
And preferably experience.
Yes, experience.
Experience matured people.
They'll give you that, Mr. Look, this is my memo. This is my this. You see, we see the U.S. president. U.S. president does not mean that he has all the knowledge in the world. No, he doesn't have it.
No.
All he has is that when it comes to security people, the security teams come. You sit down quietly. They give him all the options. They are counter argument. They tell you, oh, Your Excellency, this is it. Then he goes back to his bedroom and think, should I strike? Should I not strike? Should I mix up his final decision by himself? Because they are giving him all the options. If you strike, this is what will happen. If you don't strike, this is what will happen. You can get middle grass. You can do those things. So Festus needs, the Minister for Aviation needs to have this kind of people with him, apart from NCA. So when matters come, he can sit down between him and talk. See, we have good laws in Nigeria. Now, like Mr. Olumide just said, now there's an act, and the act gives powers to each agency, each government agency. Those are acts of parliament. So you as a minister, you can recommend. There's a way for you to recommend who you want to put there. And I'm sure if you go and check the acts, I'm not sure if I'm correct. There's a way for you to remove the DG.
Maybe, if you think he's not being effective.
I'm sure there's a way for you to remove, maybe corruption or something. So before I would not say something that somebody is corrupt, then there must be an independent. There must be a petition somewhere in which can be channeled to the ESCC or so anybody to go and investigate and see is there truth in these things. You cannot investigate and say, okay, yes. When it's not for you to say they are corrupt.
What about the sentiment that he expressed that he had to do this thing quickly because he wants to prevent Nigerian deaths and so on and so forth?
Which Nigerian dead? Nigerians are dying every day on the express route.
But
we are dying. No. Wait now. How many people are dying by aviation in Nigeria in the last? Let's say the last is after Dana crash. I think that's the major last crash. No, the crash that had lives. But as I can speak to you now, people are dying all over Nigeria in 10, 20, 30, 40 on express road, bad road. No, I'm just giving an example. People are dying on malaria. People are dying on polio. People are dying definitely everywhere.
Okay, because we don't have time, I need to fast track what I want to ask. Do you think that it would be better? I'm of the belief that in Nigeria, because of the way things are done, it's better for you to put square pegs and round pegs in round holes, meaning that people with the prerequisite experience for that ministry. Look at Umahi, for example. Umahi's been able to do a lot of the things he's doing because he's an engineer. You understand? Nigeria, I've said it before, and I think if I ask Sheriff to bear me witness now, I'm not sure he will say, yes, I said it. They can be mysterious at times. But I've always said that Nigeria is a hands-on country, and I remember during the campaign, that's why I said some of the things that you see happening. For example, even in the financial area, though there are some hitches here and there, but a lot of it is because it's so easy to talk to president. That's his onions. That's his area. He's an accountant. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I strongly advocate that it might be better if we have, just like we have in the Ministry of Justice, we have the minister also being the Attorney General. It might be better if we have a Minister of Health who is a medical person.
The Secretary for Transportation in America.
Yes.
It's not an aviation expert.
That is America.
I'm just giving an example.
No, but that is America because, yes, that is America.
We have,
because in America, whoever heads the whether FCA or whatever is a professional and his job is protected. Even the president cannot remove him. Nobody's job is protected. When you put somebody in a position in Nigeria, is a yes sir position. Yes sir. Yes sir. You appoint somebody an advisor, you are the one giving him directives. You don't even allow him advice. Yes.
Mr. Disu.
Yes.
But let me tell you, that you have just touched the most important part of the job of the DGNCA.
Yes.
The DGNCA is protected by the Act to complete the first 4-year tenure.
Yes.
Thereafter, they can go for a second term.
Yes.
But here in Nigeria, because of that tenure coverage, rather than removing the DG, that's why they can remove the DG. They would rather do for an investigation and I said it's on suspension.
On suspension,
and
yes.
Till the tenure ends. This was put in place to put sanctity and some respect to that position and to that office. And also the board of appointment should have been advertised for head authority organization to come out with 3 people that would have been sent to the president to appoint. But rather than do that, the Minister of Aviation single-handedly picked somebody who now intends to control by virtue of the position of his appointment. I'm saying, okay, if you have breached the process of appointing, do not also breach the process of management and running the organization, because that would affect safety, that would affect our rating, that would affect our contract rating. Let me tell you, ICAO, FAA, that's the Federal Airport Authority of America, we have Category 1 certification. ICAO, we just barely passed the safety audit that was conducted last year, and the gaps we had, they came back with those gaps early this year, and we had cleared it, and we passed. So that was what I was just saying at the same time. Even if Dana has gaps in their safety audit, you will give them a period of time to clear that audit. Now, ICAO and FAA will not audit the airlines. They will audit your regulator and your other service providers. It is your regulator that's supposed to audit your airlines and the service providers. So when you audited the auditor, who is supposed to be the regulator, and they are sure they are passed, then they are sure that the auditor will be able to do his job. And that's why they always go hard on the regulator. Then it behoves on us to keep the integrity that the Americans have seen. It's okay, we'll give you retain your Category 1 certification. But we are just about 2 countries in West Africa that has a Category 1 certification. So we do not toy with it, because it took us a lot of hard work from Dr. Demono's time to now to get it and retain it, because they expect yearly to see that if you are sick to receive a certification, then you now work upon the and say the institution is corrupt. On what basis?
Okay. Okay, thank you, Olumide. We lost a lot of time at the beginning, and I apologize that I couldn't take phone calls. We've just about scratched the surface. We are going to continue this discussion sometimes later. But help us keep an eye on developments, Olumide. Once there's a major development, we'll be back here. Okay? Thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving us your time, Olumide Unhayo, who is the Executive Secretary of the Aviation Roundtable. OSA, thanks for calling in as an interested party. That's where we'll end it for today. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Tomorrow is Diabumi. There's a crazy friend of mine that I haven't been together with for a very long time. I'm sure a lot of you know him. He's just known as Majek, of Jazzville. So he'll be here tomorrow. We'll have a real crack-up session of Diabumi. And I'd like to tell you that on Friday, we have a package on mortgage. Okay, on mortgage. How do you access mortgage in Nigeria? I'm sure you never thought of it. Some of you thinking maybe you just want to pile up all the money. Who does that? Like Itra would say. How you can access mortgage is what we're going to be doing. Not just from the banks, though. Mrs. Jumake Fashanu, Diabumi specialist, is an FCA. She's a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Accountants, so she'll be here talking to you about mortgage. And on Saturday, of course, we'll have Mr. Debayo, of the telecoms operators. Then we'll be talking about some of these hitches and things, and tariff prices and so on and so forth. So we have a very good package. Sheriff, thank you very much for being here. Don't be afraid to fly, Chobo. Don't be afraid to fly. It is well with you. I will give you something that will tell you once you get into that plane and that thing vibrates in your pocket, just go back home.
Ah, okay.
Yes, but don't be afraid.
Okay.
A robodo.
All right.
Osa, thank you very much.
Back outside the plane.
Sorry?
After your bag is inside the tin.
Let the bag go. Okay, folks, we'll see you tomorrow at 9. Bye.
.9 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.